welcome back to the 5 O'Clock Sweats podcast, which is the podcast where we talk about things we like to do when we're not on the clock working. As always, I'm Ryan, joined by my handsome buddy.
So you've watched Community, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen Community. Oh,
Remember that real big ad placement episode where Subway, the guy from Subway, was now
Jared.
dealing Hondas?
Yeah.
No, his name was Subway.
Oh, his name was
Or his name was Rick, I think. And then his name was Subway. And then he started selling Hondas. And then the dean wanted to buy everything he was selling, and he's like, "You're a level 7 susceptible." That's me. I'm the level 7 susceptible. I'm Derick. Here we are.
What a roundabout way to introduce yourself. Love it. Love it. Love it. So there may be a little bit of a different background for my video today. Let me explain really quick. So I am currently at my mother's house, watching the dogs while her and my sister and my niece and nephew and brother-in-law take a nice little trip to Disney in Florida. So I've been tasked with watching her 3 vicious dogs.
And how's it going?
It's going well. They've been actually really well behaved. So she has one giant German Shepherd. He's like 90 plus pounds, between 90 and 100 pounds. He's a big boy. And then she's got 2 little Yorkie poos, which may be combined for like 15 pounds, maybe. Yeah, they're tiny.
So small.
They're very small.
They're so small.
Yes, so they've been very well behaved though, which not that they're always misbehaving, but they've been pretty easy to take care of. Feeding them, they're not peeing in the house and not pooping in the house, which is a big plus. I had an issue with that last time because my
big plus, it's just me.
Big plus. My mom had changed their food last time I was here, which, can't just introduce new food into a dog's diet randomly. You just got to ease them into it. First night she left, the dog, the German Shepherd, of course, laid a giant dookie actually on the floor behind me.
Oh,
there used to be carpet in here. There's not carpet in here anymore. It was that bad.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if it wasn't because of that, but it was part of it wasn't, I don't know.
Helped.
I did a good job cleaning it up. I don't think she even knew it was there. I scrubbed that thing for a while.
What are we talking about today? Is this in the notes?
I'm explaining to the viewers.
I have My Hero Academia.
Why my background looks completely different. Why there's a dollhouse there. Why there's a crib. This is actually where I sleep when I stay here. In this thing. My legs are up here.
You may be wondering why there's a crib in my background. Well,
yeah.
This big dog took a big dump and...
And yeah, we got a crib.
now.
So this is actually my childhood bedroom. This is where I spent many hours playing Halo 2 and a ton of other games. Now it's been transformed into a little playroom for my niece and nephew, and has a little keyboard back there, and then the little one can sleep in there. So it's nice. There's some nostalgic things in here, some little knickknacks, some things that really bring back the old memories. And one of them is this VHS of Mighty Joe Young, which is a banger. If you've never seen it, highly recommend. We also have this.
Oh, that's so good.
Which, if you can't tell, it's me.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
See, it's not just some random kid. It's me with my triple chin, and I was that was my soccer days back. I don't know how old I was there, probably like 10, 11.
How long were the soccer days? How long did they last for?
I played soccer for a couple years, but strictly defense because, as you can tell, I didn't have a lot of endurance or a lot of speed. So I played
for real. Fuck running.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I thought as a kid, and that's why I looked like that.
Yeah, actually, and also what I really want to say is I have a deep appreciation for anyone who can and does run. even if you don't or can't. I probably appreciate you. What I'm trying to say is I'm a people pleaser. What are we talking about today?
Today we are going to talk about some shows we've been watching. You know, a lot of anime, but I have a couple of live action shows. I was gonna say real people shows.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna do
real
the thing
human
that I
shows.
did. I think that's what I called it.
Um,
real human shows.
Real shows with real living humans that weren't drawn and animated
with real humans.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about that today. I do apologize in advance if you hear a giant dog barking in the background, but you know, I'm doing my best. I have the door closed, and hopefully he's not a disturbance. Hopefully he stays quiet, but we'll see. So yeah, Derick, what have you been watching?
Anime. So
I'm shocked.
as you could probably tell from the last couple of anime episodes, and the fact that I've identified myself as a level 7 susceptible, it really just is, if somebody recommends something to me, if the algorithm serves me up something that looks even remotely interesting, I'm like, okay, we're going to add this to the list. And surprisingly, this list is one that doesn't only grow. This is something that I've actually been working on, like, cutting down, especially recently. It's not like my other, to watch or to read lists that only ever grow because I never check stuff off of them. So since we are at the end of the, spring season, spring 24.
Yes.
I have kept track of some of the ones that I've watched since the beginning of April. And that list is roughly a dozen anime long.
Yeah, you've been doing work.
Yeah, I have been. I did fall off a little bit in June. So I think that also goes to show how much I powered through April and May. So, okay, this one's kind of cheating, but it leads into it a little bit better. I finished More Than a Married Couple, but Not Lovers from fall 2022. I finished that, I think, the last week of March.
That's an anime, correct?
It is, yes.
Okay. I remember you talking about that.
0 real people things on my list. Shows with real humans.
Hey, those are overrated
those
anyway.
There. But I included this one specifically because I think I was still in the mood for like Horimiya, and I was also, I think, coming off of finishing Insomniacs After School.
Yes.
And I wanted something in that same like romance vein. Like I just wanted to watch people fall in love, okay?
Mm-hmm. Hey,
I just wanted to watch it and cry. And then watch the next thing. But this one was pretty good. Should I give like a short premise? Or
yeah, because I would like to know.
Yeah, so More Than a Married Couple, but Not Lovers. This is a popular girl, and I believe just like a normal guy, or he might be like a little bit of an outcast.
Classic formula for an anime.
Yeah. And they get put into a like partner project. For school.
Classic.
And the project is that they have to live together and pretend that they're married, so that way when they graduate and find people that they actually marry, they already have some experience. They kind of know that some of the ins and outs of marriage.
This is a strange, just out of context, this is a risky decision by the school they're attending to have this assignment.
Oh yeah. And the apartments that they stay in, they do have separate rooms, but it is one apartment owned by the school, and like all of the couples just kind of live together. Which again, correct, bold by the school to just kind of like do that, but
it makes for good TV.
It does. And on that note, I rated this a 9 out of 10.
Oh boy,
which
that's some high
I
praise.
think I reserve a pretty. There's only 2 things on my list that have scored a 10, and there are considerably more 9s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe like 15 9s out of a list of like 200 something, 300 something, 276. There are like 15 9s.
That's an incredible number, by the way. The 276. That is just staggering.
There is a number.
How far does that go back?
This goes back to I retroactively, because I'm a weird nerd that tracks all of my time. What I did was I went back to when you and I first watched Attack on Titan together, and based off of those time entries, I went in and updated the entries in the anime tracker that I have to say that I started it on that date. I just kind of massaged the math a little bit to make it work. But as far as I know, it's definitely accurate after at some time in 2023. So midway through 2023 is when I started faithfully tracking those.
So impressive.
It's been a time. I'll tell you that. But yeah, that one got a 9 out of 10 for me. I was telling you this before recording, but I'm really bad at like remembering specifics or even huge plot points. I cannot for the life of me remember exactly why I gave this a 9 out of 10. I have a feeling, but it does. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm pretty sure. Just generally, it has something to do with how it ended. I would assume
it had to have ended on a strong note for you to give it a 9. A sour ending would have been like, I would have taken off a couple points at least.
Yeah, which interestingly, there was one that I really liked. Oh no, I rated them a 7s and 8s. But there was a series
that's still good though.
The manga kept on going, but the anime didn't, and people are like, "What the fuck?" And like, it's to fuel manga sales, but like,
yeah,
I'm not about to devote the rest of my free time to that. Now. There's something that I've talked to you about specifically, and maybe this is maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot here by talking about it on
not
the podcast.
No, not at all.
But there was an anime we watched, whose name escapes me on purpose, and there was a character that just deserved just to be picked up. Just to be picked up, that's it.
Yeah.
It's super simple. Just
not asking
you know how people can be on the ground? You know how you can make them not be on the ground? Just little verticality there. That's all I wanted. Yeah. I just wanted the main character. Just go pick her up. Just pick her up real quick.
Just like a couple inches. Just doesn't have to be like in the air, like toss her around. Just just let her feet just levitate above the ground. Just a couple inches.
Just an airborne character. Non-ground based character for just a little bit.
A flying type.
Doesn't have to be all the time.
Yeah. It's just
hovering type. So ever since we watched that anime together,
I can't remember the name of the anime. I have no idea what it could be.
Cannot watch an anime without thinking, which character is the most pick-uppable? And so for everything on my list, I've got the most pick-uppable character.
Man, this is great information.
For more than a married couple, but not lovers, I am saying that the most pick-uppable character is Watanabe, the main character, the female MC. Now, I've designated them as pick-up points, but there isn't really a scale. So if anyone's listening and gives enough of a shit, you can try to leave some form of how many points I should assign for what about them it is that makes them pick-uppable.
Yeah. I mean, they have to
then
be.
I could standardize this, make it like a little ranking of the most pick-uppable character. You know what I mean.
Yeah, one of those tier lists.
But
that'd be good content. So I searched Watanabe from More Than a Married Couple, but not lovers, right? That's the full title.
Yeah. Watanabe Akari.
I see why. I see why you don't want her feet touching the ground. I get it. I see her and I'm like, yeah. Pick her up. get her feet off the ground. Just boop, up.
Yeah, just now.
Yep.
Interestingly, another one that I've been watching, KonoSuba, which has returned for its third season.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, writing still feels the same. Animation feels like it's taken a little step towards simplicity, which I can't really knock if it helps them get more stuff out quicker.
Okay.
I, at point of recording, I believe that it's done. It's done. There are no more episodes coming out this season.
So it was last week the last episode?
Yeah, and it seems like, I don't know, just yesterday we were recording something saying that we were excited for the new season, and now it's done. So
I know, it's crazy.
That's where we're at now.
These seasons are flying by.
This season I rated an 8 out of 10. And
what was season? Funny. What was the previous seasons? What were the previous seasons?
KonoSuba. So the original, I gave a 9.
Fair.
The Legend of Crimson, season 2, and the movie, I gave a 9. Yeah, maybe it's specifically that I can feel that there's something different about it. Maybe that's why it's an 8. Or maybe it's because this is the first season that I watched as it was releasing. I didn't just kind of binge all the funny,
That could be part of it. That definitely could be part of it. But hey, I mean, 2 9s and an 8, still a damn good show.
It's pretty dang good.
And that show does, like, I have not seen the new season yet, as you know. I do plan on binging it. Well, now that it's over, I can binge it tonight if I want.
You can. Now, but the show, I thought it was funny about Watanabe because there was a very close battle for first place in the most pick-uppable character in KonoSuba.
Well, I know who my character is.
I know which part of your character. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know if you know which character I'm talking about.
So I've put Chamusuke up first.
Oh, the cat.
You just want to pick him up.
He's a cat.
You just want to pick him up.
Yeah.
Why is he on the ground? Actually, he's on the ground in the ending credits, which is adorable. So maybe, maybe I should let him be on the ground. But this is purely about the potential of being picked up. Doesn't
Chamusuke hang out on Megumin's shoulder occasionally? Isn't he a shoulder dweller sometimes?
Yeah, and she's doing the right thing.
Now, is that picking him up, or is that just letting him? Is that the same thing as picking him up?
It does depend on the method of how he got
how's he get up there? Does he climb, or does she lift him up and put him?
Well, science doesn't really have an answer for that yet. So until the science is out, man, I need those facts.
I think we can count it for now.
Yeah, but I think for now we count it.
We'll have to do more research.
It was very close between Chamusuke and Komeko, Megumin's little sister.
She is small.
Yeah, she is very small.
And probably light.
You watched all of the spin-off series too, which she has a lot more screen time in. So I'm like, all right, Komeko, yeah. And then finishing just under them is Megumin herself.
See, Megumin is my choice for most pick-uppable character in that show.
It would be so easy. In fact, she has people do it.
She does, yeah.
She has people for that.
because it's part of the plot is that she
And-
literally cannot walk after
and they're
using her
probably like,
magic.
well, I have to do it. I mean,
It took a little bit to convince Kazuma, but he did it. He picked her up. He's a good friend.
now
And
at this point you may be thinking, Derick, aren't pickup points just quantifying the moe of a character? And I say to you, yeah, probably, but there's like some other stuff in there, you know?
yeah, there's a science to this.
So I don't somebody help me figure the science out, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's two of the things. Do you want me to just keep ripping them off, or do you want to
No,
get the word in edgewise?
I want you to keep ripping them off. I'll get my voice in there.
Your time in the sun.
I'll get my time in the sun. Yeah.
The first one that I actually watched in April is Tsukigakirei, which I think is like, I don't know, As the Moon So Beautiful? Okay, let's see. Normally there's like a translation. Oh, the moon is beautiful as the moon so beautiful. Okay, yeah. So
That's really nice.
I think I talked about this one to you maybe on the podcast.
I don't know. I don't know if you did or not. You might have. Doesn't ring a bell initially.
Yeah, I think the premise will get you. So the premise or the theme of the whole thing is like experiencing your first love. So it's like these two kids in middle school that are just figuring out that they've got crushes on each other and like how they navigate all that. Yeah. And it's like super awkward, but like super relatable.
Mm-hmm.
I just honestly think like they nailed that like first time having a crush energy on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
There's something about those shows. I love those types of shows too. Like they're just like my eyes are literally glued to the screen. I can't take my eyes off it. I don't know what it is, but it's like I'm living vicariously through these characters, like experiencing love. And I'm like, oh man, it feels so nice.
Exactly. That's what I'm in for, man.
Yeah, I just want to see some happy shit.
And I also rated this one a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
7 is still good.
7 is still really good. Yeah, 7 still it's
7's respectable. Good. 6 is I liked it. 7 is I thought it was good. 8 is I thought it was great. 9 is close to a 10. 10 is 10. 10 is just 10.
10's masterpiece. 10's perfection.
Easy. I think I gave it a 7. One, like it was cute, again, very accurate. But after, again, More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers, Horimiya, Insomniacs After School, I think I probably should have aimed for something set with people older than middle school. Although I guess you can't really, it's not as awkward to show first love experience with non, you know what I mean.
You gotta be a certain moment in life.
Yeah, a certain amount of awkward that comes with being in middle school.
Exactly.
So I think that's why I rated it that. And the most pick-uppable character in this one is Akane, the main character. Mainly because, if I'm being honest, I don't really remember most of this. I think there was a part where they went to a festival and she like broke the strap on her sandal, or like something happened with her yukata or whatever.
Can't make her walk barefoot.
Yeah. You just gotta, yeah. So that one you get pickup points for protection. I want to interview every boy that comes to your home. Make sure that they're on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, no bullshit.
So yeah, that's the first one I watched.
I love it.
The next one, I'm just gonna keep going until you tell me to stop.
I'm not gonna. Do one more, and then we can get into one that we've both watched.
Oh, perfect. So I'm going to skip some. A Lull in the Sea from fall 2013.
A Lull in the Sea?
A Lull in the Sea.
I'm looking these up so I can get a visual.
Yeah, the basic idea of this one is that there's a community of sea people, and they live in like the bay or the ocean, like right by a town. And there's, interpersonal relationships between people on the surface and people under the water. The sea people end up kind of weakening. A lot of natural disasters are starting to happen more often underwater.
Okay.
And 4 kids, their school doesn't get destroyed, but 4 kids and inexplicably no other kids have to go up to the surface and do schooling there. So it's like them dealing with like the prejudice at first, and then like trying to overcome that stuff.
Now, really quick, are these sea people, are they like mermaids, or like do they just look like humans that live under the water? Like, what are we doing here?
They do look like humans that live under the water. So if you've looked it up,
I have.
Pretty much everyone you see is going to be a sea person, with the exception of a few.
Okay.
But everyone on the nope. So someone's a human there, but essentially they don't have like gills or anything. They have a coating on their entire skin that shimmers. They can it's magic basically that they use to breathe underwater. But
cool.
I rated this one a 7 out of 10.
Okay. Another solid rating.
Mostly for the slow plot. I thought I would like this more than I did. To be fair, I did watch this one specifically for one voice actor. I'm like, all right, let's give this one a try. And I watched all 26 episodes of it, which again, 26 episodes was a lot.
It is. But
it really should have been like 2 seasons of 13 instead of like one continuous season. There's a pretty distinct break in the plot halfway through.
Yeah.
And the second half was really good. I think I just had to dock points for the first 13 episodes.
So at least it ended well. If it didn't end well, then that might have been like a 5 or a 4 maybe. I don't know how many points that would have been deducted, but it would have been a 7. It would have been probably, I would say, maybe a 5.
It ended adequately.
Okay.
Around like the first 3 or 4 episodes after season 13 or episode 13, so like 14, 15, 16, 17, you can kind of piece together where like things are falling. And it doesn't really surprise you, even if it kind of does, I guess.
Yeah,
but
I get that.
Yeah, it really felt like the last 13 episodes, great. First 13 episodes, I understand why they're necessary, because there's like a lot of stuff that they have to
it's like a world
explain
building
and set up for the big event in the middle of the season. And yeah, that's that's where I'm at. Oh, the most pickable the most pick-uppable character, Yuna, because she's so little.
So I'm looking at a picture of like it's like just a still from the show, and it's just it's all the characters like jumping or whatever. I gotta say, they all look pretty pick-uppable. Everyone. There's a lot. There's a lot. There's some that are more pick-uppable than others.
Yeah, everybody has their pros. Everybody has their cons. It took me a while to deliberate on this one. Most pick-uppable character, most.
Now,
I know I had 3 for the last one though.
What color is her hair?
Black.
Okay, I see her. Yeah,
Yuna.
I agree.
She's so little.
Yeah.
And then second place is tough because Monica is, I don't want to spoil. She's the way she is.
Okay.
And Sayu, the girl with the pigtails, we might be looking at the same picture. I have no idea. She might not be in the picture you're looking at. Oh, that's rough. Pigtails. I don't think she's. Oh, okay. Well, she's also small. So It's like they're both small. But you gotta weigh it all out.
Yeah.
Figure out who it is.
You gotta
It's
go through
Muna.
the scientific process.
Yeah. Again, it's not science, but it's not science. There is a process.
You gotta deliberate on it a little bit.
Yeah.
You gotta, It's not as easy as you think.
That is
more involved.
4 things that I watched since April. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more there. So let's just keep on moving.
Man.
What you got?
I love it. You're just killing it. You're killing it.
One of them, something we watched together.
Yes. And what would that be?
That is Suzume.
Suzume, yes.
A movie from November 2022.
Yes.
This is one that, like, I've always heard the name. Again, probably because I only started watching anime in 2022. So it was kind of always on the horizon and then there and then in the rearview mirror. We finally got some time for you and me to watch it together.
We did
some time ago,
like a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it was early in the season.
May, maybe early May, late April,
perhaps. But I knew it was the same studio as Your Name, so I kind of had a certain expectation going into it.
Yeah, it had a similar vibe.
I think the premise is really just girl finds guy and door. Adventures ensue. It's
basically
there's a chair at some point.
There is a chair
and cat spirits.
There's a chair, cat spirits. There's a worm, a big worm.
Oh yeah,
causes
I remember
natural disasters.
Yeah. I did forget about the big worm.
That's like the big. That's like the big plot point of the movie.
I'm not good at this.
I know you did say that.
You can't be a movie reviewer.
You did preface that earlier. Now, I honestly kind of. Well, I'm starting to remember how it ended exactly. What I do remember is that I wasn't like thrilled with it. It was okay. It was good. I didn't love it though. It's not Your Name. Your Name is incredible.
Oh yeah.
But Suzume was. Maybe it was overhyped for me. I don't know, but it just like didn't hit me in the feels or really anything like Your Name did. And I guess that's not fair because Your Name is like one of the like on the Mount Rushmore of anime movies. Probably
I knew you were gonna say Mount Rushmore.
And and Suzume not bad, and it looks great. Like the animation's superb. But just I don't know. The story didn't really click with me. It took a while to get going, really.
Guess what I rated this out of 10?
I'm going to guess a 6.
Just flip that 6 upside down. I gave it a 9.
Oh, you gave it a 9. You loved it. You really loved it.
Maybe with some time. I tend to rate these things as soon as I finish them.
Yeah.
So, like the last episode, if the last episode something makes me cry, I'm probably going to bump it up a few points. That's probably what happened here. This probably could have been an 8, but I gave it a 9. Not going to change it. I really think the animation carried it on this. It
was beautiful to look at. It was really nice.
Because the note that I have is beautiful animation, adequate story.
Yeah, I listen. That's
points.
Fair. That is fair. Yeah, definitely fair.
The story is adequate. There are some plot points that, even though they kind of did make me cry, also presented some loopholes in the situation that she's got going on with the chair that she gets given. I'm like, what?
This chair.
I'm not going to think too hard about that, so I didn't.
You're giving us a look behind the curtain of your rating system.
Yeah, I
like it.
Yeah. Speaking of ratings, most pick-uppable character in this one is Daijin, the cat spirit.
Yeah, another cat.
It's just a little kitty.
It's an easy choice. But also,
I guess neither of them are actually cats. If you if you think about it,
technically no, but they look like cats. So for all intents and purposes, they're cats. But also an underrated, maybe a dark horse second would be the chair. It's a tiny chair. It's like a child's chair.
Yeah,
easily pick-uppable. She picks it up numerous times. The main character.
I think where Chair misses out on some points is that Chair doesn't look like Chair needs to be picked up.
It doesn't. It gets around pretty well.
Chair self-animates.
Chair
is an ambulating chair, three-legged chair. But Chair doesn't feel sorry for Chair self. Chair does what Chair needs to do.
Chair gets shit done.
Suzume to do what Suzume needs to do. And gets to be where Chair is by the end of it.
Yeah.
That's the least spoiler way I could say any of that while also keeping my weird brand of comedy.
No, you did an excellent job. All anyone knows is that there's a chair in Suzume. That's it.
Yeah, and it moves.
It moves.
It doesn't need to be picked up.
You can draw your conclusions based off that.
I'm not going to say you can't. You can.
You can totally pick it up.
Yeah.
It's made of wood. It's probably like, what, a couple pounds?
Yeah.
If that. Yeah. Pick that thing up. Probably throw it a good ways, too. I could probably throw it like 20 feet.
We're going to have to test that.
And if 20, I do a...
20's not too bad. You'll get a good roll, though.
If I spin around and throw it, I could probably get like 40 feet.
Ooh, 40. I feel like we're going to have to film this one.
Okay, well, we got to find a chair that's like...
I'm going to go to
the right proportions.
The mom and pop toy store in my town.
Oh, man. They probably have one.
I'm going to get a wooden chair, pay for it. Thank you. Break a leg off and film you throwing it in a field somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going to spin around and I'm going to throw it. Just like a couple of spins, and then I'll release and we'll measure it.
Yeah, needs to be 40 feet. I think 20 doable. 40's
a lot. I'm not
a lot.
I think I'm having a hard time visualizing 40 feet in my head.
I'm having a hard time visualizing how big chair is. It's like kids' chair, so it's like
it's a kid's chair.
It's I don't know if that'll hurt you or help you or not. Because if it's a kid's chair, it probably doesn't have that much inertia. So you probably can't get you can't throw a ping pong ball as far as you throw a baseball. That's right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially with wind and stuff. And it plays a role, but I don't know. I mean, the only way to find out is to test it in real life.
Yeah.
So if we do that, if we get really, really bored,
when we get really, really bored,
and we find a chair that's exactly the right proportions, we find a spot for me to throw this chair.
You're really not trying to throw this chair, huh?
I kind of do now. I kind of have to back up what I said.
Oh, it'll be fun.
I dug myself a hole here.
The least fun part will be spending my hard-earned money at the mom and pop toy store on a chair that I'm definitely going to break.
It's probably going to be overpriced too. It's probably going to be like, I don't know.
Them's the breaks.
I don't know what the chair market's like.
Yeah, ever since Toys R Us left, maybe they're doing a little bit better. I don't know.
It is a mom and pop shop, so maybe they don't want to, they don't want to drive up prices, so they get some business. Who knows? Anyway, we've talked way too long about this chair and me throwing it. Man. Okay, so Suzume. I think it's time that we talk about another anime that we both watched together. Well, we didn't watch together. I'm sorry. Well, we did. We technically did.
I have no idea what you're...
Well, it's Frieren.
Oh, yeah, okay. We did.
We technically did watch one episode. We tried to watch one episode together.
Yeah, that was the last thing we were going to watch before you crashed on my air mattress or my couch. I don't remember at that point in time.
It was the couch. I fell asleep on the couch, but then also I ended up sleeping on the air mattress.
That was the last thing that we were going to watch. And you meet Himmel the hero maybe 3 minutes in, 5 minutes in, including the opening theme.
Yes.
You didn't even make it to Himmel the first time.
No, I did not. I honestly, like, rewatching it again. I did not remember anything.
Yeah.
It's like I technically watched like at least 5 minutes of this show, but I don't remember anything. None of this rings a bell.
Hard, especially when you start like a new anime. You're like, all right, well, who the fuck is that?
I know.
Like, how do they know each other? And then there's the whole time aspect of it. You're like, all right, well, is that the same person or no?
We were also pretty enhanced that night, and I was very sleepy. So, anyway, that plays a part.
Yeah, Frieren. Yeah. So have you finished it, or do you have one more?
No, I finished Frieren as of like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Hell yeah,
man. I mean, this show got so much attention.
It did,
and there was so much discourse around it. During it was the winter season, I think. It was a winter anime. Or was it fall? Fall or winter? One of those.
Winter, for sure.
Okay.
Maybe.
And I just kept hearing about it. It was like Frieren. And I saw it on social media. So it was always at the top of like the Crunchyroll recommended or most popular. Then you watched it and you're like, this show is, you should watch it. And it's like, okay.
And I'm just being a loud weeb over here, like, oh, it's so good. It's like isekai, but better.
That's exactly how you said it too, just like that. It's like,
yeah, that's my off podcast voice, actually.
You should make it your full-time podcast voice.
So what did you like about it?
You're right there. He's struggling.
Yep.
You sound like it hurt.
Nope. Everything's fine.
So this show, it's a special show. It's a great show. I didn't know how much I was going to like it. Even after like the first couple episodes, I was like, it took a little while to get going. It's world building, obviously, but I really liked the way they approached the story.
It was very gentle.
And we're gonna have to talk about spoilers in this discussion. So if you have not seen Frieren, we're going to get into some mild spoilers. So if you want to watch Frieren, I don't recommend listening to this part, or watch it and then come back and listen to this part.
She kills Dumbledore.
You're a wizard, Frieren.
So, Aura.
Not me. Not Hermione. You. You.
Once I make my move, then you're free to use Zoltrak on my clone.
Stark, you can't. I don't know.
He's like, no, yeah, I can't. I know.
I really can't.
And they're like, oh no, actually, you can.
So yeah, the way they approach the story is great because the full title of the show is Frieren Beyond Journey's End. So the show starts and you're introduced to these characters and you're like, okay, I guess these are going to be the characters for the whole show. Like these are the main group of characters.
Uh-huh.
And then they've completed their journey. Their journey's over. They kill the Demon King. Like they've completed their mission. We didn't even see it happen. we just know that they did it and it was a huge deal and they're like they're renowned warriors now. Like they will forever live on in history as like the group that took down the Demon King. They're famous forever. And you're just like introduced to them and this is where the show gets into like my favorite theme of the show, which is like time,
right? And because
mortality.
The group composition is Himmel, the hero, who's a human hero.
Yep.
Hyder, who's the human priest, who has got his own character flaws.
Yes.
Aizen, who's the dwarf warrior, and Frieren, who's the elven mage. And kind of as you might expect with those races, elves live super, super long. Dwarves live a lot longer than humans do, and humans are humans.
Yeah, which we know. It's crazy because I still don't even know like how long Frieren has been a lot. Like they hint at like, oh, like thousands and thousands of years, but like, man, I don't know. Like, I don't even know you don't know how old she is really. You can kind of guess, you can make assumptions, but she's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
But this is where the show really like starts to like really hit me. I'm like, this is a special show, and it's just the interactions between the characters, and then obviously when they've completed their journey, 50 years goes by, they agree to meet again to see a meteor shower or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for Frieren, like 50 years is like, I don't know, 5 months.
Yeah,
Basically
it's
kind of
nothing.
like it's bare, it's not even nothing, it's less than nothing. But for like Himmel the hero, he's probably like in his 20s when you first see him.
Yeah, he's got to be like 19 or something.
Yeah, and he's like elderly when you see him again 50 years later. And then he passes, sadly. Like he dies like what, in the second episode?
It might be the first.
Might be the first. But then the show then focuses on Frieren and how she grieves, kind of, or like comes to terms with it and realizes like, okay, like she starts to form some empathy with humans.
Yeah.
And throughout the whole show, there's flashbacks to moments from their journey together. And I those are my favorite scenes in the show. I just love the interaction between that group because they have such good camaraderie with each other. And I I need a prequel series where it's just them going to kill the Demon King. Like this show is perfectly built for a prequel. Like it needs a prequel. It needs a prequel.
I can also see them being like, you know what? I think this could go prequel-less. Let's just leave the lore as it lies in situ.
I at least would like a movie. A movie would be nice. But anyway, but yeah, so Frieren basically is going. She's going on her journey, and then she goes back and visits
Heider,
the dwarf,
Eisen,
and also Heider, the priest. And then just something clicks with her, and she realizes that she needs to appreciate these people while they're still around. And you can tell like she's remorseful for not maybe spending more time with Himmel when he was alive. Like she left for 50 years, saw him again, then basically after that he was on death's door.
Yeah, and like you said, for her 50 years was nothing.
It's nothing.
Right?
Yeah.
And the 10-year campaign to go kill the Demon King.
Yeah.
To her was less than nothing. I'm pretty sure when they like arrive to the village to celebrate, like after they defeat the Demon King, she calls it a mere 10-year journey or something like that. She's like, that's nothing for me. And, you know, the humans and even the dwarf is like, well, that's not nothing to us. And she just like doesn't get it.
Yeah. She's very like this, like, I don't know, despondent, I guess, or like she lacks empathy, as I mentioned before. She doesn't quite understand. She can't wrap her mind around the human mortality, or like just, you know, the sense of time in general, because she basically, for all intents and purposes, she'll live forever. I mean, can't even like fathom like how far down the line she'll live.
She's
to. Like,
gonna be so strong.
Yeah, so that's what I want to get into next. So this show, the first few episodes, you know, are just like, it's a fun, comforting like adventure show.
Yeah.
You know, and with some like really nice heartfelt moments. But then there was a particular episode, I think I texted you about this when I saw it, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yep.
I see. I see it.
I think I said it earlier.
Yeah. So I see why people love this show. Because it still had all of those things that made it fun before and nice before, but then you're throwing this wrinkle into it, and it's more of like a traditional kind of adventure anime, but still has the heart and soul that carried it to that point. And that was the Frieren the Slayer episode. I was so hype that episode. That episode was so good because Frieren, you don't know, because she was with this party of people to kill the Demon King. You know, they all work together to kill her. You don't know how powerful she is.
Yeah, the legends always talk up Himmel the hero.
Yeah,
and like you've got to have a good healer, so Heider's there, right? And you got to have a frontline warrior, so Aizen's there, and like Frieren's just the mage, and she carries herself like apathetically and like coolly, like no expression,
very stone
really.
face, very stoic,
which I guess makes sense for elves, but like. Yeah, you don't know how strong she is. Like up until this point, you know she's good at magic because she's been around for a while. She's like lifting boats out of the water to help with like trash cleanup or whatever.
Yeah,
but like this is where magic. It pops off, right?
Yeah. So yeah, there's that group of demons in that town, and the one she gets arrested, and then the one demon visits her in jail to kill her because the one demon, I don't know if he truly recognized, he thinks something about her seems familiar, so he just like, oh, take care of her. And then she's just like, I'm a lot stronger than you think, or than I look, or something like that. And yeah, she just pops off. And at that moment, you're like, oh, okay, Frieren's a badass. she can probably take on anybody.
Yeah, and I think even the fact that like, I think he goes to kill her with like invisible threads or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're like, she catches it in the nick of time, literally. Like it's wrapped around her neck, I think.
It was,
and she has like the most minuscule amount of like mana shielding just her neck or something, right?
Yep. So that from that moment on, you know, the show kind of takes on a somewhat different, it's like it's a somewhat different identity, but not really. It still is that heartfelt, fun adventure show at its core, but it also has some really breathtaking action sequences as well. And Frieren really gets to showcase her powers.
The very next episode.
Yeah, particularly the Aura the Guillotine episode, which, by the way, Aura the Guillotine, that's such a fantastic name for a villain. Great name.
So good
choice. So Frieren's secret is that she has worked she's trained her body her entire life to hide her mana, to suppress her mana, which in that world, for a magic user to do that is like super taboo and frowned upon and just disgraceful. You shouldn't be doing that. But she does it because her mentor basically said, demon, you know, this is the most effective way to kill demons. And lo and behold, she kills Aura the Guillotine because she does not realize how powerful Frieren is. She thinks she does. But
so good.
Man, that scene where she unleashes her mana was so sick. I got to rewatch that scene, but just what she was saying to Aura, basically like, oh, you thought you had me figured out, you underestimated me, and then just like she has this like Super Saiyan 3 level like aura around her. It's crazy. The mana just like pouring out of her. It's crazy.
Yeah,
so
like,
good.
The other thing about it is like when other people suppress their mana, like people can spot little minuscule like aberrations or fluctuations, and like they can tell that person is trying to conceal their mana.
Yeah.
And Frieren's training went so deep that she trained herself how to make those imperfections, those fluctuations on purpose. So even when she's like concealing her mana, it looks imperfect. When she lets it out and pretends that she's stronger, it's also imperfect. And then she's just got a whole ocean of it basically on top of that. And like that is on full display in that episode.
So cool. And then in the meantime, you have and this show is carried by the characters. I love every character in this show. They're all so good. You
Most
have
pick-uppable character?
Fern.
Easy. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Although she gets bigger. What about Frieren though? Because Frieren's small. Frieren's smaller. Fern gets a little tall.
Can have a bearing on the pickup ability of a character. Yeah. Again, it's not all encompassing. I think when Fern acts immature and like throws tantrums, I'm like,
yeah,
we got to pick her up a little bit.
Well, when you first meet her, she's also very tiny. So in that moment, she was very pick-uppable. Like 10 out of 10 pickup points for her. But yeah, so the Frieren basically forms a new party of heroes, and their goal is to go basically back to where they slayed the Demon King before, but past that, and they're going to. Is it called Heaven in the show? I forget. It's basically Heaven. I think it is. I think they call it Heaven.
Yeah, I feel like they do. Let me see.
And they're gonna basically, it's where you can see past, friends, family.
Aureole.
Okay.
It's located in the northern lands, but the humans just refer to it as Heaven.
Yeah. So basically, the whole point of the show is that Frieren and her group are going to the north, to Heaven, to base, and Frieren wants to see Himmel again. That's basically why she's going. She wants to have a conversation with him because I feel like she wants to make up for lost time. But yeah, Fern and Stark are the two characters that are accompanying her on this journey, and they're both great. I mean, Fern is just a badass, and they're in that same episode or the guillotine episodes where Fern really shows what she's made of.
Oh yeah, dude, she's menacing in that one.
Yeah, she's cold.
She's just like hovering there. I'm like, oh fuck.
She's sick. She's awesome. And what I like about her is that she's not super powerful. But she is, but it's not because she has a ton of mana. It's because she has crazy endurance and can just keep outputting as much mana, seemingly endless amounts of mana, where it becomes a battle of attrition and her enemies can't keep up with her because she can output so much magic at once, and then also like defend really quickly. She's got like really good instincts and reaction time, so like she can guard really, really quickly. But she just basically overwhelms her opponents.
The basic spells too, like basic offensive magic, basic defensive magic, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And she just does them all perfectly.
Yeah, and she just overwhelms her opponents. So I like that.
I don't think we've seen her full strength yet. I mean, I know we've seen a couple battles with her, and she's strong, y'all. But I don't think we've seen it all.
No, there's definitely more there, but I like her a lot. And then Stark, even though it's spelled Stark, but I like him too because his introduction is funny because it's like, you think he's like this badass, heroic soul warrior that he's gonna slay the town dragon, and the reason the dragon doesn't come by is because he's there and he's afraid of him. Well, it turns out that's really not the case. He's a scared kid, but he is powerful. He is very powerful. Well, he was training on that trench, or he formed that trench because he was training on it. Basically, he was kept hitting the rock with his sword and basically formed a whole trench through this mountain. That's
nuts. He's so strong.
He is very strong.
And then
he's also go ahead.
It turns out the thing about the dragon being scared of him was true. I just got served this clip on yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was when Stark goes up against the dragon and Frieren's like, ooh, yeah, maybe that's why the dragon wasn't staying around. And then he hits the dragon with his axe.
Yeah.
And then he shouts up to Frieren and Fern to like fucking magic shoot the dragon.
Yeah.
And Frieren's like, no, it's dead already.
Yeah.
He's just so strong.
Kid doesn't know his own strength.
And we barely get to see any more Stark. Like, action.
I know. We see a little bit of it when he in that Or the Guillotine episode where everything just, when all the shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
And he's fighting the one demon. And he basically gets stabbed. But it's like it was part of his strategy. So, because basically the demon he was fighting, her attacks had like no power behind them. Like, he was like, "Oh, your attacks are nothing. My master's attacks were way stronger than yours. Like, I can handle you." So he basically just takes a shot to, like, I don't know, like the abdomen, or he gets stabbed, and then he just lays down this powerful slam with his sword and just destroys her. It was so sick.
Oh man, I need more.
I'm not doing it justice by talking about it, but the scene's badass. It's so good. And yeah, I mean, and there's a couple other characters that come along the way. They're briefly in the show, like what, Sign and Arsene and Kraft. But even those guys, like, they had limited screen time, but I still really liked their dynamic with the group.
Yeah,
and, like,
they show up in little like transition scenes where like they're like, oh, now we're heading to the Magic City, and it'll show like a picturesque like mountain and a stream, and then it'll randomly show like Sign or someone just like on the road, and then back to the city. I'm like, wait, what? They just want to let us know that they're still out there in the world somewhere.
So I'm excited for that reunion. But I like Sign. I liked Sign a lot. I was sad when he left the group.
Same.
Because he was kind of like the father figure especially to Fern and Stark.
Oh yeah.
Because, well, maybe not surprising, but Fern and Stark have a little thing going on. Little thing. Yeah, surprising, I know. But but they're young and naive, and they don't know how to convey their feelings. So,
hey man, some of us are still fighting. Yeah.
But I know you enjoyed that dynamic a lot. That really hits
very good.
That hits that chord for you.
With that episode with the birthday present.
Oh, it was so cute.
Yeah,
it was so cute.
I like when he's like, I bought this, and then they're like, that implies this, and he's like, oh
yeah.
And then she wears it anyway.
But then Frieren remembers that Himmel did the same thing for her, and he knew what he was doing. That was a good scene too.
Yeah, it was a pretty good scene. I'm making it sound like they were all naked during this. I'm like, oh yeah,
they are fully clothed.
They didn't draw any clothes this time.
They forgot to draw the clothes.
Wear the robes. Nobody knows.
And yeah, and then you get into the First Class Mage storyline, which was cool. There's some new characters introduced in that arc. That was probably, parts of that were probably my least favorite part of the show, but not like bad by any means. Just I preferred them just going from town to town on their journey, meeting new people, and then just like having little adventures in those towns. Like that's what I liked. But then this was this was cool too. This had a very kind of like My Hero Academia sort of vibe to it.
Yeah, I think I texted you something like that when I got to that point. I'm like, did it just turn into a shonen?
Yeah.
What the hell?
So it's like it's a whole training arc essentially. But there are some stakes. You know, there's definitely some stakes. There's a big climactic battle with basically Frieren and Fern fight Frieren, a copy of her, due to some magic. That was a great scene. It was cool because like Fern's like, I know how to kill Miss Frieren. Yeah. And Frieren's like, oh, do you?
He's like, what? you what?
Side note, I know you watched it in the Japanese. I watched it in the English dub, and the dub's really good. I kind of don't want to watch the Japanese version just because I really like the English so much. I think Frieren's voice actress especially like just really conveys that like kind of monotone, just like relaxed at all times sort of voice. I don't know if you've heard it, but
I did hear it in that TikTok that I was served.
okay.
And she does have like a cool but kind of tenacious vibe in that
A
one.
little bit, yeah.
I think she's a lot more monotone vanilla in Japanese, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Maybe I will check it out just to compare the two.
Oh, the Aura of the Guillotine episode for sure. You got to hear the.
Oh
line.
yeah, well that's true. I should just watch that episode with the Japanese. But yeah, there's a couple of characters in that first class mage training arc that are good. I liked Danken a lot. He was cool.
I didn't expect to like him by the end of it. I'm like, this guy is just gonna be a little stinker, and he was kind of a little stinker, but not really.
Nah, yeah. By the end, you like him. You're rooting for him a little bit. He has good motivations.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, and yeah, I really enjoyed his little arc that he had in those few episodes. And then probably my favorite character that they introduced is it Ubel?
Oh yeah, the Ubel. I feel like that's how they pronounce it in the sub, at least.
Yeah, but she's a badass, and
she just does not give a fuck.
She's very tenacious. Doesn't give a fuck. She's got some pickup points. I think
the way she acts is like she's the playable character in a GTA game. She does not give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, she's just balls to the wall at all times. But her magic's cool because it's basically Sukuna from JJK. She just can slice through things.
It is fucking cool.
It's pretty cool. And then she takes care of the copy of the long-haired instructor there. I forget her name. But yeah. That was cool. But anyway, the season 1 of Frieren, I loved it. I really, really did. It's definitely the best anime I've watched this year, for sure. And maybe my favorite new anime that I've watched since Vinland Saga season 2 probably was up there. But yeah, it was phenomenal. I can't wait for season 2. Yeah.
Whenever that'll be, right?
Yeah, whenever. I have no idea like what the state of the manga is. I haven't looked into that at all. I don't know like how far ahead it is or if it's done. I have no idea. Oh, and side note, the animation in the show is fantastic.
So good.
Fantastic. It's so good. It's so clean. It's just very clean.
Say the same thing, clean.
And it's got kind of like I don't know, like a kind of a grainy look to it, but maybe it's more of like the opening. Has that.
I feel like it's supposed to look like it's on film or something. Like that. Yeah,
it's really pretty to look at. I really enjoyed that part, and when the action kicks in, like the action animation is also top tier. So
big agree.
Yeah. So for me, let me see. I'll rate Frieren season 1 on your scale, and I'm gonna probably give it I don't know. Can I do decimals?
You can, but it'll be harder to compare.
Yeah, that's true. It'll be complicated. I'm probably going to give it a... Man, I'm debating.
Yeah, probably I'm not going to give you what...
Yeah. I'm probably going to give it a 9 out of 10.
We match.
A 10, I don't know. I think maybe just because there were a couple episodes where it was like a little slow, but like that's the show. Like it's an adventure... anime, like
it was 28 episodes. They can't all just be banger after banger.
Exactly.
Right? It's
There's going to be
Barney Stinson's get hyped list, right?
Yeah. Maybe a little bit like I think basically the first 2 arcs are like 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And then the first class mage exam arc it's not bad, of course, but it's just not as good as those first 2. So
yeah, I think the final stage, or the stage where they have to fight the clones or the copies.
Yeah.
That's where like a lot of the action and a lot of this happened, let's flash back and show you all the context as to why that's interesting. Like all of that happens in that arc or in that like stage of the exam. So
Mhm.
everything before that was just like setting that up. So
Exactly.
it really didn't feel like the first or second stage really did anything other than like showcase the new characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like other than that, it was nothing.
That is, yeah. Actually, now that you mention it, that is the portion of the show that kind of fell flat for me just a little bit. I was like, okay, like this isn't. I just want to get back to like the good stuff. Come on. But at the end of the day, 9 out of 10, damn good.
So good.
All right, so that was our Frieren discussion. Hopefully, if you haven't seen it, you didn't listen to it, and if you have seen it, hopefully you agreed with some of our points or disagreed. We're just gonna end off here really quick with just a little lightning round of some shows that we're looking forward to, whether they have already aired and we have to catch up, or if they're coming out in the future. But I'll go first. I have a couple that I'm looking forward to that haven't started yet, and then I've got a couple that have started that I haven't watched yet, and then some that I'm currently watching that I want to finish. So I'll start off with My Hero Academia. I'm a couple episodes behind on the current season. I'm really liking this season, which is great because I thought last season was also pretty good. The seasons before that, couple seasons before that, were just I don't know. I wasn't really into it.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Like the vigilante Deku arc. We're like, oh, this is gonna be fucking sick, and it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. It could have been a lot better.
Anime, yeah.
It was. But and I've said this before, but the show is at its best when the stakes are high, and the stakes feel really high. It feels like the story is starting to conclude a little bit. It's starting to, you can see like a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, okay, like there's really not that much left, and I think the manga is done. I'm pretty sure the manga is done, or will be. Maybe not done right now, but it will be done soon. So, we really aren't that far from the end.
Since the last time I checked, they added a number of episodes to this season. Before it was just,
really?
8 out of question mark. Now it's 8 out of 21.
Nice.
21 episodes this season.
Okay.
13 more.
This season's been great, so it's been really good. It's probably been the best season in a couple of years or a couple seasons, which is great. It started off with a bang. So I've been really enjoying that. I'm looking forward to catching up on that and getting current. I have not watched Demon Slayer yet. I'm sorry, I have not watched Demon Slayer yet. I don't know why I'm not watching it, but I love that show. And especially the way last season ended, like I should be like diving into this season, and I'm just waiting. I don't know what I'm waiting for. I think a part of me wants to wait for it to be over, and then I can just binge it.
Well, good news for you. Okay. There's one episode left in this arc.
Man, that's crazy.
So Saturday will be episode 8 out of 8.
There's only 8 episodes a season
in this arc. Yeah, I don't know when the next one comes out.
I would imagine it's probably going to be next year if it's only 8 episodes, but
yeah, it is rough, huh?
Anyway, that is nice. I can catch up quickly on that. I've heard good things about the season so far. I haven't really looked into spoilers or anything, but I've heard good things, so I'm excited to watch that. And you've watched it, right? Are you liking it?
Yeah, I'm current. It is very fun.
Okay.
I just finished episode 7 yesterday when it aired, and they're setting up for whatever the next season's going to be in a major way.
Okay.
I think that's basically this entire arc is the oh boy arc.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm excited, so I'll definitely be catching up on that ASAP. I'm currently watching The Boys season 4, which is a real life live action show, not anime.
Never heard
Man, that show is so fucking good. It's so fun. It's so off, just balls to the wall, wacky and satirical and great. It's great television. It's super entertaining. If you want something good to watch that's not anime, you should watch The Boys. It's good. And The Bear. The Bear season 3 drops as of recording this episode. It drops in like 2 days. I think.
Damn, season 3 already?
Yeah.
Season 2 just whoosh. I didn't even register that it existed.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch 1 or 2, but I feel like I remember season 1 when that was around.
So that's a show that I would love to watch with you, I think. And they're easy episodes too. They're like only 30 minutes per episode. There's like a couple episodes that are an hour long, but a lot of them are like really really palatable 30-minute episodes. Like you can definitely we can get through that pretty quickly.
Was it you or was it my sister that texted me that they were it was probably my sister. I think she texted me that her and her husband were watching The Bear and that I should not watch it because it got her very anxious to watch the first episode.
Okay,
and
so
at that point in my life, I was like, yeah, maybe I stay far the fuck away from this one.
So I don't disagree with her, but it's a show about people working in a restaurant. Like it's the hustle and the bustle for the restaurant business. But the show is just oozing with fantastic writing, great characters, great cinematography, and just compelling human stories. It's so like it's probably one of the best shows I've watched. Period.
And who's the most pick-uppable character in The Bear?
Oh man, I know I have an answer, but I have to look up her name again because I forget.
Well, while you fill that,
are there any male pick-uppable characters? There's gotta be.
There has to be. On my list, at least, there is not one. well, kind of.
To be fair, they don't usually make the male characters very pick-uppable looking.
One that
makes sense.
Have in my notes that I didn't bring up is I started watching that time I got reincarnated as a slime. And I think the slime version of Rimuru is pretty pick-uppable.
Okay. It's the slime version.
And that was a man.
Okay, there we go. We got one.
Kind of. Asterisk in that one.
All right, I'm not gonna find this character's name, but anyway, there is a pick-uppable character in the Bear.
Good to know.
I'll text you about it later.
Why does that feel like it's gonna be weird?
It's not. It's just gonna be a name. Oh wait, Claire. Name's Claire.
Claire. Oh, I don't know why I said it like that. Claire.
Actress Molly Gordon. So if you want to look up Molly Gordon after this, feel free.
That kind of sounds familiar. I don't know why. Well, I mean, I guess I know that those are names.
She is in other stuff. She has been in other stuff, so you might recognize her from something else. And then the last thing I've been watching that I am halfway through is Dragon Ball Z Abridged, which I wish I had gotten to talk a little more about it this episode, but a friend of mine kept begging me to watch it. And, I love Dragon Ball Z, so it wasn't hard to convince me, but I haven't watched in like a week or so, but I've been busy. But it's one of those shows. They're only 10-minute episodes, so they're very consumable. You can literally just binge it. I've seen like 30 episodes. It's incredibly easy to get through. So I do appreciate that. But
that's the abridged part.
Yeah, the show, it's been like a steep incline of quality. Like it started here, and then it just keeps getting better and better and better, and the jokes get funnier, and the editing gets better, and everything. So that's another one that we're gonna have to watch together sometime. It's tons of fun. So that's what I've been watching and / looking forward to watching. So let's go over to you, baby.
What I've been watching, this weekend, I binged all of Rascal Does Not Dream of Money Girl Senpai. Front to back.
What a mouthful.
Watched, 13 episodes, 12 episodes, plus all the specials and 2 of the 3 movies, because I don't think the third one's available yet. But that was interesting. That was basically like Monogatari, but less like supernatural, I guess. I rated it a 7 out of 10 because I was expecting more romance, but it was still pretty freaking good.
Okay.
Pick-Uppable character. I went for Koga Tomoe, only because this was a character that fell very innocently in love. And then the other one was Futaba Rio because you got to protect her. Anyway, the things I've been looking forward to this upcoming season, Oshi No Ko season 2 premieres, I think, as we're talking, like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Is that the band one? The one with the band, or
with like
something about
with
music,
pop
right?
idols.
Pop
It
idols,
is, but it's also not.
Okay.
This is kind of a spoiler, but season 1, episode 1 is an hour long. Absolute banger.
Okay.
Has really no bearing on the rest. Well, not no bearing, but it's completely different from the rest of the series. So if you watch season 1, episode 1, at least try season 2, episode 2 first.
Okay. Interesting.
But hopefully things should start moving more independently now that things are in motion. Like the idol group and the dude's acting career. So that's something I'm looking forward to. Also, Shikanoko, Nokonoko, Koshitantan. My dear friend Nokotan.
Okay.
This one was one that the algorithm served me. Again, level 7 susceptible. I see it. I'm like, ooh, I want to watch that.
Good old algorithm.
But it comes from Wit, the same studio that made Spy Family, and it basically looks like unhinged but cute.
Okay.
So
unhinged but cute.
Yeah. Basically, what I want from this one is like the whimsy of Spy Family, but in just a different setting.
Yeah.
The Elusive Samurai finally drops this upcoming season. I think I had that in our last anime episode, but I don't remember why I thought this one was on my list. Probably the old algorithm doing its work there, because I brought it up. I'm like, I know that I wanted to see this, but why? There is a voice actress in it. I'm like, well, Mao Mao is in this, but I don't know if that's it. Then something I mentioned earlier, Monogatari off and monster season. Having more in this universe is going to be great, but I am worried that it's going to feel disjointed because the dude MC is apparently just not really going to be in it because his shit's done. His shit's done. He's in college or whatever. I assume he's going to have like some through lines in it just to kind of tie it all together. But I'm going to watch it just to watch it, but it might be a little bit too avant-garde for me now.
Well, you can rate it, and then you can pick up. Yeah. You can pick the most pick-uppable character in the show and rate them as well.
Oh, I'm sure I know who that is already, but I'm going to. I'll wait.
Let's give it some time. Let's give it some time.
And a movie called The Colors Within, which again was another algorithm recommendation. I think it hit me at the right time because I was like just in the middle, or I just gotten through watching A Silent Voice and A Sign of Affection, and it seemed like it could be an interesting watch. Also some stuff that I didn't get to watch this season because I was too busy watching the 12 to 13 ones that I already watched. Windbreaker. I've heard such great things about it. I've seen such good clips. Okay. I mean, they're all available to stream, but just as it was releasing, I didn't have enough time.
Windbreaker. I've not heard. I don't think I've heard of that
yet. How about Miss Koizumi Loves Ramen Noodles?
Yes, you recommended that to me, and I was also sent an Instagram reel of that by someone else that we know, and it was a sign that I need to watch that. But I'm also afraid that I will also end up spending a lot of money on ramen if I watch that show, because I'm going to just be craving it at all times.
It's fine. Business expense.
Ramen is expensive. I mean, $20 a bowl. And you know I like that extra broth too. So.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, apparently this was written by an actual ramen reviewer and like features actual dishes from actual restaurants.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, that should be fun. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. And I'm sure you've got a few on your list, like Dragon Ball Abridged.
Dragon Ball Abridged.
That we've got time to revisit and at some later point in time. This is already a pretty long episode by our standards.
It's probably the longest we've ever had.
So maybe we do another one soon. Maybe talk about some of the other stuff that we've got going on. It was my hope that maybe we could do an episode like this, kind of at the end of every season. Just what have you watched and what is coming out soon that you're trying to watch, or things that have just been on your list that you're gonna queue up.
I like that, and I'll do a better job of keeping up with the currently airing anime. So I'm all ready to go.
So yeah, hopefully in 3 months, roughly, we'll have another one of these episodes. Now we might sprinkle in.
We'll sprinkle in stuff. There's going to be something that we watch that'd be like, oh, we got to talk about this.
Yeah, I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got at least a dozen more that I didn't talk about.
What we didn't bring up was the first Slam Dunk.
So good.
Yeah,
so good.
That's all we're going to say. Is that
please watch it. So
incredible.
You don't need any prior Slam Dunk viewing experiences. You can just go in right there,
and you don't have to like basketball either. Although it does add to the experience if you do enjoy basketball.
Really, quite good.
Blew us away together. At the same time.
So I definitely need to refine. I call them pickup points, but I don't apply a point value to them. So how are they really points? So if you've got some pickup pointers, you can send them to us on Instagram. We are at 5 o'clock sweats. On X, we are at 5 o'clock sweats. We are available in video form on YouTube, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Anything else?
Nope. Just glad the dog didn't bark too much.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Good
he was a good boy.
Cooper.
I'm gonna give him a big old treat after this.
Nice. Same. Well, okay. As always,
stay sweaty.
And they say that a hero can save
this baby doll was so creepy. It's so creepy.
Oh, I hate the way I can see it in my periffs, man. Oh,